Pinnacle Championship Wrestling here in Fort Lauderdale, Xtreme Action Park. It's so cool because you see such a great mix of talent. And here we have 3 legends of championship wrestling from Florida, 3 legends of pro wrestling, period. Ricky Santana, the Cuban Assassin, Fidel and Fantasy. Used to know him as the Cuban Connection, but now, Ricky, tell us the name now and how this started.
Well, when we were in the NWA, we were the Cuban Connection. We had some great feuds here in Florida, as everybody knows, with the Sheep Herders, the Mod Squad. And then it converted into WCW. So we morphed with the times and we became the Barrio Brothers. Barrio in Spanish means neighborhood. So we're brothers from the hood, so that's when we came up with the name. And we've been up and down every coast, every country for over 35 years.
Working for CCW down here, and they started. We have one of our first shows after the pandemic. Fidel, what was it like being back out here tonight, working in front of a crowd, and the safety precautions, everyone?
It was so good to be here at CCW, and the safety precautions of the building with masks, sanitizing, everything that they did for all the wrestlers and all the fans. It was first class. It was good to see.
In today's society, a lot of people are just unwilling to do what it takes, and it's a shame because we wouldn't be so restricted if everybody would do their part.
What's it been like? What has this journey been like, this pro wrestling journey been like, Ricky, for you? And just getting started, your days in CWF Championship Wrestling from Florida, and continuing to do what you do.
Yes. I'm trying to hit a number for myself, a goal, because I wrestled in the 80s, I wrestled in the 90s, I wrestled in the 2000s, the 2010, and I'm going into the 20s now. So I'm still looking. I made a match in 1979 to make it in the 70s, but I have to check the record books for that one for sure. It has been a journey, but most importantly, when you're on the road and you have somebody that's got your back in the ring and outside the ring, and you become family, like me and Fidel have become. We've been through some good times, we've been through some hard times, and we've been through some sad times. But most importantly, we're still hitting and going and moving on, because this is my family when it comes to wrestling. And everybody should know that this is a great sport, and if you have a chance to get into it and you truly love it, you can benefit from it.
And you know, and like Ricky hit there, we teamed up here in Florida. First we wrestled each other here, then we teamed up in Puerto Rico, Mexico, all over the world, Fantasy managing us. Then we were in Oregon, and I battled Ricky Santana and the Pacific Northwest with Don Owens, Portland Wrestling, and then we became partners there, and it went on, and like we've been all over the world, and to be in this great business of professional wrestling. That's what I call it, professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
And have such a close family, and so many good brothers that have left us and that are still with us, and sisters, that it's just, I'm just overwhelmed because I have lost so many friends, but I love this business so much.
You mentioned the brothers and sisters, and it's interesting because on tonight's show, you get a nice mix of talent.
Yes.
From those just starting out to veterans in the business to some that are hitting their stride. And we saw Frankie Chiazzo, Francisco Chiazzo here in the match. You got referee Bruce Owens.
Yes.
That's working all legendary and all. What's it like when you guys get to work with others that have been in business a long time?
Well, like tonight, it was great teaming up with Frankie, Francisco. He was in Puerto Rico, we were all together there. Anywhere we've ever been, and anytime we team up, it's like it's a family teaming up there. You know what I mean? We all got each other's back. We go out there, we give the fans 500%, because that's the people pay to come and see good matches, and that's what we give them every time.
It's something that's really, really important, because coming here, and like you say, you see people that are starting out, some people hitting their stride, and some of us veterans are here, but it brings you back. It reminds me of when I was first starting out, and I seen the veterans that helped me along the way. And when you can give back, that's more important than anything else. And myself and Fidel, we've been in the ring with some guys that are starting out, and we've been in the ring with some veterans. But one thing for sure, when we step in, we always give 110%. And Fantasy knows that when she's been on the road with us. she's looked out for us because sometimes we don't know how to stay on the porch and play with the big dogs.
Fantasy, what was it like for you when you first got started in this crazy business and all, and just the enjoyment of it?
I can tell you it has been quite the last 25, 26 years. Started out at the world famous 106 North Albany Sportatorium.
Yes.
That was my first time I ever accompanied Cuban to the ring. And just being able to manage these two, I've learned so much about the business and seen so many different places I would never have gotten to visit. Met so many wonderful people, and it's just really nice to get back together. And what's really nice to see is that even though they maybe haven't been in the ring for a few months together or maybe longer than that, they don't miss a beat. It's like coming back together. It's like family, and you pick up where you left off. And I hope we have many more of these road trips. And to Ricky's point, I hope we're going to hit 2030 instead of just 2020. So let's go for 10 more years.
Let's go for 10 more years. All right, fair enough.
10 more years sounds good to me.
It's so cool because also Fonzie, who was
Fonzie,
champion. Now, the thing is,
that's
a
my
lot of people obviously know ECW, Manager of Champions.
Yes.
But when I was growing up, and when you guys were involved in championship wrestling from Florida, Bill Alfonso was
Referee,
senior official, senior referee, Bill Alfonso. What was it like? What do you guys remember about Bill Alfonso, the referee?
Bill Alfonso, a lot of times was the only referee. So he would come in and he had every match. Some of them were hour draws with Jack Briscoe or whoever, but he was there for everything. He didn't miss a beat in none of the matches. He, I would say, without a doubt, one of the best referees in this business and a great manager. He went on to become a manager in ECW, and he's still going, and we're so happy for him.
Yeah, we're happy for him.
We had
I'm
so
glad.
many trips together.
Yeah, that whistle though kind of drove me insane after a while, but that's beside the point. I love Fonzie to death. He's like a brother to me. We've been up and down the road, the three of us. We've got all kinds of stories, but they're not really rated PG.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing we can
keep
see.
it
Wait for the book. Wait for the book, everybody.
To be here on the same card, we got the Colognes here.
Yes.
And we wrestled in Puerto Rico. We do a lot of money there for Carlos Colon. I had a lot of feuds with Eddie Colon's father, and which is
we watched them grow.
We watched them grow and become what they are, and Carlito. And
it's good to see that.
What was it like working in Puerto Rico? And you mentioned Carlos Colon, a true legend of professional wrestling history. For those that don't know.
In its heyday, if you happen to be not a fan favorite, you were in for a real treat because you had to watch your back, you had to watch where you went.
And I was one of those that had to do that.
Yes, had to do that, and there's
batteries, knives, rocks,
spark plugs, whatever it might be. There's a story about Francisco Chia. So we were in Humacao and a riot broke out because Conan had hit Stacy Kwan over the head with a guitar and busted her open, and the Riot Squad came in. And I told him, I said, we're going out in 2 waves. We're going out first, SWAT team's coming back to get you, and they'll take you out. He turned white as a sheet. He says, am I gonna die here? I said, not if you keep walking, bro, but if you stop, might happen. So it's one of those things, but hey, it was a great experience. I worked for Carlos for the longest time, just like Fidel. We're part of the creative. We did everything down there. So
you did creative too.
Yes.
And I can honestly say I had a great feud with Carlos, and it was so good. We sold out all over Puerto Rico for like 3 months straight, and that was amazing. You know what I mean?
And I'm very grateful because he gave me a lot of opportunity to learn a lot in Puerto Rico, and I was one of the few female managers that he would, they would get flown in and get to work there and
give you respect.
Exactly, and it was really, really great. And speaking of, the wild days of Puerto Rico, my first time there was a riot, and they had to block the locker room, and it was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? I'm like, oh God.
It's interesting because Carlos, when you think about the greats of the greats, and you'll think of the Bruno Sammartinos or the Dusty Rhodes. There's so many good put up. Bobo Brazil back in the day. I mean, Carlos Colon. To me, is one of those. I mean, even not Puerto. I mean, in Puerto Rico for sure, but even in just wrestling, pro wrestling.
Carlos Colon. I always say this. He's the Hulk Hogan of Puerto Rico.
Absolutely.
And nobody can take that away from him.
Yeah, he earned that by the attendance and the people that he was in the ring with, and you know, they love him. And there's that part that I wish would still come back to this organizations that are out there to actually look back and see how somebody could be of that big a magnitude and have the people where you're walking in the street and they're following you. That is something that I wish we could still do today, but hey, everything evolves like anything.
Internet, social media, all that kind of thing, sure.
You know, it changed the way we looked at TV. It changed the way we looked at sports. You know, now you can do everything. It's not a local sport. But hey, no regrets. None at all, because we got to travel the world. We were in Japan together, like you said. We were in Mexico. We were in India. I mean, we were everywhere. So we've been blessed to be in this business and be able to go to all but one continent, which is
say 7 continents.
Right, except for one, which is Antarctica, because you know a penguin's back is round, and we can't pin a penguin. So that's why we don't go there.
But, you know,
I thought it was going to be the cold. I thought you were going to say because of the cold.
You know, and nowadays, you got to be trained by the right people. Francisco, he trains for great, the WWN.
Yes.
The
And
WWN?
Yes.
Yes.
And he does a great job there. Ricky trains people, does a great job. And
I go back to the school to train me. I go back to Malenko's.
Yeah, and Pablo teaches people here, and you got other people like Dan Grell that teaches people. There's great schools out there that teach, and they teach you from they teach you the right way, and that's what counts. Because there's some people that teach you the wrong way. These people are trying to teach the young guys the right way.
And they're trying to teach you the respect for the business. We've been fortunate enough to work with Alpha and WXW.
There you go.
And I help Alpha a lot with that. And what it amounts to is he's teaching them the right way. You have to respect the people that came before you, because that's how I was trained, that's how Fidel was trained, and that's how we train our people, and that's how we, you know, incorporated fantasy into all this. Learn to respect, learn the right way. It's not about taking money, it's not about that, it's about the art of the wrestling business and knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, when to say it and when not to say it. And that's what we're trying to teach.
Have you guys ever wrestled Primo and Epico?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, many.
Oh yeah, many a time.
What was that like?
I was married to Primo. Like, I think I claimed his social security number one year because he was a dependent. I mean, I had him every night. You know, it was one of those things.
And I wrestled him and Eddie, but I wrestled Carly more.
Yeah.
And I managed God bless Kurt Hennig, who the first time I brought him to Puerto Rico with just an interview against Carly Colon. They drew over 8,000 people, 9,000 people in Caroline, and all they did was an interview against each other. They didn't even have an angle to it. And it was, you know.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the business. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And that's what we try to emphasize and try to teach. Like I said, we've been blessed to work with some of the best in the business. You know, and not a lot of people can say that, but you know, I'm thankful for all of that. And just like Fidel and Pence, you know, we got to go places where most people wouldn't dream of. So we are truly blessed.
We're not done yet.
No, we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. There's more years.
Right.
When you're in the ring with others that are second, third generation, can you sense that right away?
Oh yeah, it's a natural flow for them because they've been exposed to it the right way.
Yeah, you know, like we've been in the ring with Jack and Jerry Briscoe, God bless Jack, and we wrestled Wes Briscoe, and Wes is right there, man. I wrestle Wes, and it's like I'm wrestling him, and I feel like I'm wrestling Jerry, his dad again, or I'm wrestling his uncle Jack, God bless him. I mean, he doesn't miss a beat either. You can tell he's a Briscoe, his arm drag, the way he does, the way, you know,
amateur style, absolutely.
And very respectful.
Oh, absolutely.
And very respectful.
I've met Wes several times.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Briscoe brothers have always been first class with us.
Yeah, Jerry was very instrumental when I first started out. He's the one that sent me to San Antonio. And, you know, he said to me, kid, you need to hone your craft. you're going to get lost in the shuffle here. Because there was too much talent. The who's who was there when I was first starting out. The Funks, the Briscoes, you know, Steamboat. You had everybody there. And I went.
Mike Graham, Steve Kern, Dusty,
everybody
was there.
Everybody there. And you know,
you're lucky to make an opening match.
Exactly, and I was blessed enough that Jerry took a liking to me and he sent me out there, you know. And then as I came back to Florida, right, I came back and that's where I met Fidel. And you know, it was a friendship that was made on an arm drag, which is very unusual, right? I mean, that's how we learned. And he's the one that sent me to Oregon, out there with Don Owens, and over the years we've been, you know, everywhere together because we took care of each other. And that's what you have to do, take care of the boys. It's my theory.
And your training and coaching you mentioned, correct?
Yes, I train that and I coach that because it's very important. It's the importance of respect. It's the importance of knowing how to take care of somebody that gives you their body. And most importantly, don't think that this business owes you something, because it doesn't. You choose to be in it because you want to be in it. You gotta love the business if you're gonna be in it.
Exactly. And the day you think you know it all in this business, it's time to get out of it, because you never quit learning. Even us, we've been in it 30-something years, 40 years. We never, sometimes we learn new things and we say, wow, we thought we were in you know, you don't never quit learning.
And I'll wrap it up with this, because
Yes.
the training part of it,
Yes.
is that something you do privately, or is this something you're doing at a training facility?
No, I do it at a training facility. I do it at the Malenko School in Largo, and then I go to Alpha School in Mineola. So I do those two. And then not only mention that, but I forgot, Alex Portel's got one in Winter Park, and I help Alex with Wrestling 2.0, and he's another veteran that teaches his boys right to respect.
Right way, yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I'm keeping myself involved, keeping myself going, and you know, for me, it's important.
And the lastly is, so who do you credit in training you?
I have to credit who sent me to my first territory. I got an automobile. God bless Rocky Johnson and the late King Curtis Iakea. But I went to Japan. I went with them. They sent me to Dallas. Then later on, I was going to Japan and all that. Hero took me in and he showed me, prepared me for Japan. And I went there and he sent me there like 5-6 times. And so Hero put me through some heavy training to get ready for Japan. Because in Japan, you just didn't go there, and it was a lot. It's a whole different
style.
Oh yeah.
And plus he learned by working the different territories, the different opponents, the different talent. That's really where a lot of his training came in. Pretty much not in, you know, separate in the ring, but performing in the ring live and learning the hard way, so to speak.
And then Ricky will wrap it up with you and your start in the business and who you credit.
Well, my start was dealing with Malenko, and at that time Tugboat was there, and you know, starting out. But then you know, I like I said, met with Jerry and got sent, and we were out there with young guys, 2 young guys that maybe you might have heard of, Shawn Michaels, Paul Diamond. Hey. It all starts somewhere, and you all end up somewhere, right?
Well, you mentioned Tugboat.
Yes.
Was he the big steel man?
He was big. Well, when he was out in San Antonio, he was called Big Bubba.
Oh, no, then that was right. Then that was Bubba Rogers. That was Big Bubba then, or no?
No, that was Big Bubba when they gave him the name. That's when he was at TBS.
Yes, that was Big Bubba. So that's
Dusty
different.
Became
Big Boss Man.
Yeah, no.
But Typhoon was Big Steel Man, or no?
No, he was Big Bubba.
Big Bubba.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, then they changed him around, and he went to Memphis and did his thing there, Steel Man, and then he went on to be who he became, Tugboat.
I'm so interested with the stories and all, so it's so cool. His son is actually working for WWE as a timekeeper / everything. So it shows that's what he does. Berkeley, his son Berkeley. It's really cool.
We really appreciate the interview.
Thank you all so much.
Appreciate the time.
I appreciate it so much seeing all 3 of you, Ricky Santana, Cuban Assassin Fidel Sierra, and Fantasy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.